everybody, what's going on? This is the Big Boy Project, and we're back with a review of Avengers Age of Ultron. I just want to know what's everybody's first impressions of the movie.
Splendid, spectacular, superb.
All the S's.
All the S's. Yeah.
Amazing. I loved it. I have no complaints. Now, mind you, this is my first and only viewing of it, so I'm going off of my fanboy excitement. So, of course, I'm not going to find any faults in it. Now, once I go through my second viewing, I'll probably be, I'll nitpick the hell out of it.
Right.
But on my first sitting in the theater with all you guys, I thought it was amazing.
I did too.
A 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Like
by far the best Marvel movie since Winter Soldier.
Right. Because the writing was better. The jokes were so funny. And on timing. See, timing is everything. And they made sure the timing was perfect with the jokes.
It was classic Whedon humor.
Okay.
Classic.
Well, I was thinking
Joss Whedon knows how to weave serious topics and make a big old joke of it.
Right.
So, and again, this is a Disney movie because Marvel is owned by Disney, so they had to keep it light.
Right. And one of the things that made me laugh was the cussing with all Captain America. He said, "What language?" Like,
and they kept that as a running joke through the entire movie.
Well, see, I can relate to that because they are friends. That's what friends do. When you do something silly like that, oh no, you're not getting away with it.
Yeah, like I told Mark, this is going to take at least 2 weeks before we let him live down the whole going through every stage of inebriation. Right. It'll take a couple weeks before we let you live that one down.
Right.
At least a couple weeks.
Right. Like Tony Stark, Iron Man did his thing.
Yeah.
Funny as always. Smart, a smart ass character. What character stood out to you in the movie?
I would have to say Captain America and Iron Man. If anybody, yeah. Even the side characters, Falcon and War Machine had a little bits and pieces in there too.
Which character stood out is the question?
Yeah, stood out to you when you're watching the movies. They impressed you.
I think I would have to go with Hawkeye. Hawkeye was clearly the star of the movie this time.
Right, it was.
And of course, after spending most of the first movie as a pawn of Loki, for him to be the one that pretty much he saved the team. He's the one who saves the team.
Right.
And he's the one who gave the pep talk to all of them. He's the one who found them a place to go lay low after the big epic battle. He's the one who got the Scarlet Witch to calm down and get it together.
Right.
So yeah, the standout for this movie was Hawkeye.
Right. To me, Scarlet Witch, which I don't like her accent at all. She could have did without the accent. And her brother Quicksilver. They would stand out because they were new. They were the new characters in the movie. Everybody was talking about it, and they did a thing. They blended in with the movie perfectly, in my opinion.
But we do have to give a hat tip to the movie's big bad. Ultron really. James Spader did an amazing job as Ultron.
Yes. Because he was funny, he was humorous. You fell in love with the character.
I like this interpretation. I like this interpretation of Ultron a lot more than I like him in the other medium. Like if you've watched Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, or what's that movie? The Next Avengers. I've seen those movies.
Yes.
In the movie, with the Next Avengers was the kids of the Avengers, and they had to fight Ultron.
Right.
All those interpretations of Ultron have always been he's a robot.
Right.
He speaks like a robot. He has megalomaniac tendencies. He's a psychopath, but he's ultimately a robot.
Right.
James Spader gave Ultron a personality.
Right.
Specifically that part where if we haven't said so yet, obviously spoiler alerts. But and y'all know my thoughts on that. Anyway, the part where he's talking to Ulysses Claw, and he made the mistake of, you sound like Tony Stark, or you act like Tony Stark, and he loses it. He's like, I am not Tony Stark, and he yanks that man's arm off.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Is that That's hilarious.
Right. Which would make sense because it's a creation of kind of Tony. Right.
Yeah. And in that moment, it's like in that moment, he didn't really realize, dude, I'm a robot. I have robot strength. I just yanked this man's hand, arm off. Even though he's a machine, he still has that. He has those moments. So I mean, I like his personality. I thought it was really, really, really good.
Right, because what makes a movie is a good villain.
He was a really, really good villain.
Right, and first of all, the opposite of Ultron was Vision. Mm-hmm. What's y'all thoughts about Vision?
Awesome. Yes, his personality was pretty much on par with Ultron's.
I thought Vision was a true interpretation of the character, and I thought what's his name? Michael Bettany. Mm-hmm. I forget his name.
Paul
Bettany. Yeah, mm-hmm. There it was something. Paul Bettany. He has been gearing up for this part this entire time. We all know we know he's the voice of Jarvis,
right?
And we know from the movie that Vision's personality is a combination of a combination of Jarvis,
right?
A combination of Ultron's person, right. Ultron and Jarvis's personalities, which is based off of Tony Stark,
right?
And then add to that the soul. I'm sorry, that's not the soul gem. It's the mind gem.
Yeah,
right.
Mind gem.
That we find out that the mind gem is a stone on his forehead.
Right.
So yeah, he was amazing. He was amazing.
Right, to put those all together and be that personality, it's hard.
And from watching the 3 Iron Man movies and the last Avengers movie, Jarvis, he throws shade with the best of them.
Right.
So it was funny at the end when the Vision at the end confronted the very last Ultron body.
Right.
He was like, the human race, they're flawed and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And Ultron was like, oh, you're an idiot. You're so stupid. You can't believe you're falling for this. And he was like, well, I was born yesterday. And then
killed him. Yes.
I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. But of course, y'all see my friend back there knocking stuff over. But the part that I think everybody in the theater, everybody collectively roared and gasped and clutched their pearls and,
right.
hollered and clapped was when Vision handed Thor his hammer.
Right.
Like, y'all need to make. I need to make a decision if y'all trust me or not. But here, we got to go. And he hands him a hammer. The significance of that.
Not just hands him a hammer. He hands it to him with a limp wrist.
Seriously. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, you're not supposed to carry the hammer. Like, it's not supposed to be reserved for him.
The significance of that. The significance of that is because, earlier in the movie, during their victory celebration,
right,
the Avengers was trying to lift the hammer and they couldn't.
Right. Oh, so wait. Captain America kind of lifted each side, and Thor side up. He's like, oh, wait. Okay.
And I'm wondering, and even then, I'm wondering, did Captain America actually, did he know he could move it and just didn't? You could tell he tried, but then it moved. And I'm wondering if that instant he knew he was going to lift it and just didn't.
No. See the way they did it is it's like it's jiggled enough so we can see it, but he didn't actually move it.
Okay.
So
I was going to say it because I kind of looked at it as like maybe Captain America knew he was going to lift it and he just didn't.
No,
and that's why we only got that subtle movement.
right.
But yeah, so everybody tried to lift it and they couldn't lift it, and so that was basically saying none of y'all are worthy,
Right.
and then here comes Vision, he just casually hands it to him.
Right.
Like, we got a job to do here. Boom.
Everybody like
showing everybody that in that room at that moment, if anybody needed to be trusted, it was him.
Right. Because the hammer say, if you're worthy, you'll lift it, and he's worthy, so he lifted it.
Yeah. But again, I also like what Captain America. You know how the three, the holy three, as we like to call them. You know how in DC, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are the Holy Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
In Marvel, the big three is Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And when the big three was walking down that hallway and they were talking, and you know how of course, you know how when friends get together they throw shade at each other.
Right.
Sure enough, they was like, well, if you put the hammer in an elevator, it can still be lifted. He's just a machine. He doesn't technically count.
Right.
So it was kind of I like that banter between the three of them.
Yeah, it was funny.
Trying to explain why the Vision was able to lift the hammer.
Or Dell, Tony Stark, and I think War Machine had the two robot hands trying to lift it.
Their armors.
Yeah, and trying to lift it like, come on, like I'm doing my part, come on. Yeah, like I say, the jokes in this movie was on point.
Did anyone see how Captain America was able to get his shield back on hand whenever he threw it?
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. That was
Right.
nice. That was a nice addition.
An auto return feature.
Right. Let's see. Well, the Hulk had a big scene in the movie because he was rampaging through the city.
Mm-hmm. That Hulk Buster. Oh my God. Right. Yes.
Oh, the fight scene. The fight scene was everything.
That was my favorite part of the movie. And yes, that was the most highly shown part of the movie in like all kinds of trailers. And everybody knew it was happening. Everybody knew it was going.
Right. But the visual
to see the whole thing.
Like the epic visuals, like when Hulk punched and the Hulk Buster punched at the same time, and the big explosion came off. The funniest part was when you try to make Hulk go down, and he kept punching him. Go to sleep, please go to sleep.
And he had the jackhammer punch.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was hot.
Right. But basically, they destroyed like this whole building. Trying to get.
I don't know if I was in my excitement over the whole Hulkbuster thing. I don't know what was being said. I don't remember. But did he tell Jarvis to buy the building before he crashed the Hulk into it? That's what I thought he said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Jarvis, why don't you buy this building or something like that? So that he destroy it so he can drive the Hulk. Is that what he did?
Yes.
Okay.
Because think about it, he said, okay, what the best way to not get people on his behind is buying the building. Okay, I own the building, so it's okay.
I was like, what did he say? Did he just buy that building just so he can destroy it and drive it?
Right.
No, that's when you just got obscene amount of money.
Just to come out and buy a building, like
right.
A lot of people cannot just come and do that.
Bought the building right before he leveled it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that scene was everything. It was epic. It was absolutely epic. And then they still tried to keep that same humor. Excuse me, from the first movie, how you remember how they were fighting the Chitauri, and at the end Hulk and Thor were standing around and Hulk just punches him.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time around it was Iron Man to Hulk.
Right.
Punched him, pow.
Right.
Yeah, see,
his head just popped up. Here. And to the next thing.
I liked how the it was clearly the Hulkbuster was clearly an exo armor that went over his established armor. Right. And then you saw how no matter how many parts got damaged, he had replacement parts up in that pod.
Right.
So that was kind of cool. And right. and the I want to say that the that cage that they put him in the first time, like that thing came and fell on top of the Hulk and built the cage around him.
Right.
I wanted that was an Easter egg too. I want to say that was a nod to the cartoon.
Right.
To the old cartoon.
Oh.
So yeah, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
Right. And of course, by the way, spoilers. I'll say it again, spoilers. when why about to keep calling that man Silver Surfer? Quicksilver died. To me, that was
my life was gone after that one. I was sad about that.
I mean, first of all, he caught a bullet. We all seen him caught a bullet when they were shooting at him. Now suddenly he died by bullets.
Like I'm not fast. I'm fast enough to dodge a bullet, but not fast enough.
He caught the bullet
and run for one
and put it back in the chamber. I like, but at the end of the movie, he got shot by bullets. That kind of threw me off as well. Like what y'all thought about Quicksilver dying, or supposedly he's dead? We don't.
They didn't show it. They
because they didn't show like a memorial, a statue.
They didn't show him. They didn't show him being buried. They didn't show him in a casket.
Right.
Earlier in the movie, they established that they have machinery to repair his body. I think that was just fan service. I don't think he actually died. I think he's laid up somewhere. But then again, I think he just got really, really close to death that it made Wanda think he died.
Right.
Because,
his pulse just stopped for a minute or two.
Yeah. But then he is super fast, so his metabolism he can But then he took about like 30 bullets to the body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are Gatling gun. Those are like at least 25 millimeter, 30 millimeter rounds.
They shred through the body easily. So
I'm surprised he was still in one piece. So,
but to me, like him grabbing the car and putting it in front of them, why not just grab them? I don't know. I just probably being nitpicky. I'm sorry. But
no, that makes a lot of sense. He should have just how was he strong enough to move that car?
Yeah.
Right.
Because if anything, Quicksilver has super strength in his legs.
Not his arms.
Not his arms.
Right.
And not the rest of his body. So how did he move the car?
Yeah, if anything, he would have to ramp his arms up just to get strength in him anyway.
So that didn't make sense. But you're right. He should have just grabbed Quicksilver and the kid, because it can't be that much more heavier to grab them and run with them.
Right. Then you run with a car. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that kind of threw me off as well. But let's see. I didn't care for him dying. I think he should have lived. I don't like the fact that he died. But like I said, we don't. Like I said, he probably did. We don't know. We'll know in the next movie when the movie come out. But we'll get into the gathering of the new Avengers. With
the new Avengers,
War Machine.
I like that there's a new Avengers. Because yes, you lost Iron Man, you lost Thor, but you still have characters who are their equivalent.
Right.
The Vision is basically Jarvis's AI, which essentially is just as smart as Tony Stark.
Right.
He's just and you also have Vision also has Ultron's, so I'm pretty sure they're just as smart as Tony Stark.
Right.
So the intelligence is still there. Plus the strength you get from Vision. Vision has super strength,
and plus he's more level-headed in my opinion.
Plus his phasing power, so he has his density shifting, so he does have the equivalent strength of Thor and Hulk, ish.
Right.
Maybe not as strong as either one, but strong enough.
Right.
You still have your armored warrior, so you still have War Machine. So, and I think Rhodey has gotten pretty good with his armor. To be a good stand-in for Iron Man.
Right.
Then of course you got the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Who clearly is the most powerful member of that team.
Right.
Clearly.
Right. And by the way, shout outs to her when she came out that church.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But
that walk was everything, right?
And that hair blowing.
Oh, she was everything. Oh, did you see that outfit she was in at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
I'm
glad they gave them outfits. I was happy about that because I was don't have them in regular clothes.
They gave her legit costume, and then her hair was all beat out. Oh, I was like, oh, she's beautiful.
Quaff to the gods.
Yeah, she quaff to the gods. Yes. And then my boy, I got to give up for my boy. he showed up at the end as a member, full-fledged member of the team. My man Sam Wilson, the Falcon,
Right,
with that big old booty. Anthony Mackie,
right.
he
Booty for days with wings.
he done put on a couple pounds and got his body right together.
Well, he have to sit on them eggs. So
yeah, so I'm glad Falcon. I'm glad the Falcon is on there because
right.
you know, it's in the comic book. Captain America and the Falcon were always a big team.
Right.
That's good. I'm glad.
Well, like I said, they got a good team, and they're gonna need one because, yet again, spoiler, when the credits were rolling, who came out? Was it Thanos?
Thanos.
Yeah,
Thanos reigned. Thanos.
Right. So they're gonna need as much powerful members as they can get. It's gonna be an all-out battle with Thanos.
I'm not gonna kid you. I would be surprised if it's just that team that takes on.
Well, it won't be. It won't be because I was, I was on a chat room on Facebook with this other group that I'm in, and they brought up the point that they might have lost all these different. They might have lost some of these Avengers, the Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, because of course Thor is going off to be for his next solo movie, and there is no Iron Man 4. There's just Captain America 3, which is Civil War. So you got a new team of Avengers, and you technically still have the old team too.
Right.
So now you have to have enough people for there to be a Civil War. People have to be able to pick sides.
Right.
So yeah, there's gonna be
Civil War gonna be good.
Yeah.
And bloody.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. I hope they do it justice, which is kind of a crazy hope because every single one of these movies they've done it justice. So it's kind of a given that it's going to be a good movie. But yeah, they also was like, if you were confused in the part where they go to the ship to go meet Ulysses Claw is probably the main villain of the Black Panther series.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they mentioned Wakanda and then they went to go see Ulysses Claw. They were introducing Black Panther. So that was kind of cool. There was confusion. They were not in Wakanda.
Okay.
Wakanda in the comic books is landlocked. It doesn't have a coast. So they were in Africa. Yes, they were in South Africa, but they were not in Wakanda. But yeah, Black Panther is going to be a good movie, I think. Hopefully.
Right.
I really would hate for it to suffer because of racist people.
Oh God!
This is how Black Panther is just a bunch of black people. I really would hate for the cast of Black Panther to be mostly white folk.
Yeah,
but that's another story, and hopefully it won't be, and we'll review that when it comes out.
But like I said, I think it do good because that's mostly everybody else. But in the nerd community, it's not really that much. They don't care. They just want a good superhero movie. Yeah. So
but that was nice of them to give us an introduction to the Black Panther without necessarily naming him.
Right.
In this Avengers Age of Ultron, that was kind of cool.
Right. Well,
I really wish they would have gave us a little bit more. Well, they said that the movie would have been longer. It was the running time was about what 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon had said that it would have been longer had he not cut out a lot of stuff. I think I would have liked for them to give us, I don't know, Ultron being built. Like, we see Ultron get born, and then the next scene we see him built. Mm-hmm. We didn't see him get built. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We saw him in that little shambled, exosuit or whatever it was that he was in, that Stark armor, and then he got destroyed, and then he's in the church with the twins.
Right.
All we saw was some lights light up, but we didn't see him get built. And then after he stole all the vibranium, and he was talking to the Black Widow after he kidnapped her, and then he goes and he destroys his previous body, which was just a dumb thing. Why would he destroy a previous body when he could have used that body against somebody else?
Mm-hmm. Well, he was kind of full of himself. So he's like,
he was being arrogant.
He was being arrogant. He was full of himself.
Right. But hey, you never know. When it come on DVD, we may get the extra.
Yeah, hopefully.
On that, so yeah.
But I didn't get. Did he use some of that vibranium to make himself a body? Was that what I was supposed to get from that? because if it was vibranium, well, no, it's vibranium, not adamantium. I'm getting my metals confused. I was gonna say, how did they destroy that body if it was vibranium? But it's adamantium that I'm thinking of, and I don't think they have adamantium in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think they're using vibranium as the stand-in for adamantium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense, which is weird because you would think as strong as that damn metal is, that shouldn't break that easily. Like,
when he was shooting him when Vision, Thor, and Iron Man were all shooting him, you could see the stuff was melting and warping and being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that shouldn't happen if he made that body out of that metal.
Right.
Because that is some real. That's one of the strongest metals in the. Vibranium is supposed to be stronger than adamantium.
No, adamantium is strong. It's the strongest metal there is.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That's the universe.
Then what? Wait,
once it's hardened, the only thing that can hurt adamantium is more adamantium.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to do some research because how did What's the name break his shield in the comics?
Who?
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent shield was an adamantium.
Right.
There's only the Captain America shield is the only one of its kind.
Right. So I was wondering, how did he break his Captain America's shield then? Because I was like, what the hell?
Well, that was cosmic. That cosmic cube did that.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, that was reality being warped at that time. That wasn't regular stuff happening.
Okay.
That was outside of the realm of physics and all that stuff in the comic book world.
Right.
Okay.
That was some cosmic stuff. So yeah.
Right. Well,
and it took some cosmic stuff, and it took cosmic stuff to fix it. So,
right. So, like, okay, so what y'all rate this movie? I give it a 5 out of 5.
I give it a 100 out of 100.
Infinity and stuff.
The Infinity symbol.
Again, my score might change on my second viewing when I just watch it, just to watch it.
Right.
This was the excitement of going out with my boys. We all comic book nerds. We all excited about this movie.
Right.
We all over the place. Our emotions are raging. We're having nerdgasms all over the place.
Right.
We're losing it.
Right. Like
I'm gonna be at home, calm, chilling, maybe with a beer, maybe with some pizza, and I'm gonna watch the content. And I might read it for filth. I might say this movie was the most garbage movie ever.
But like I said,
I've gotten that reaction from people.
Right.
I don't understand how. Of course, I don't understand. How can you be disappointed in this movie? This movie was everything.
Right.
And I've gotten that reaction from a lot of people that said that movie was garbage, and I was like,
okay. So,
I'm surprised.
We talking about our first viewing, people.
Yeah, this is our first viewing. Our original first viewing, yeah.
Right. We give it a good score. Now we may do another hangout after we do a second viewing, and probably do some nitpicking. We can't do it together, because if we do it together, then it's just we're gonna be biased. Right.
We gotta do it on our own.
Right. But only thing I had to nitpick, it had nothing to do with the story. It didn't stop the amazing story or anything. Was Scarlet Witch's accent. That's the only thing that threw me off in that movie, because it didn't look natural when she was talking.
It did sound forced. It did sound forced.
Right.
She was trying to have an accent.
Right. That was it for me. So we give it a good score now. Maybe when we get a second viewer, we be on Facebook. Be on Facebook like, oh my God, this is such da-da-da-da-da. So we'll talk to you guys later. Like I said, we put our information in the description box below. So peace out, y'all.
Deuces.